Greetings and salutations, everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Subnautica. I am Kamchak Fisco. Come join me for an ocean adventure. Herbivores. See, we already looked at the bladderfish. Those are the guys that give us water. We already looked at the boomerang because they were a good source of food. Same with the garyfish. Gasopods. These guys are just annoying, but you can use their secretions to make torpedoes. Oh yeah, we did go through and read all these guys because they were the food we were eating for a long time. The jelly rays were beautiful. I don't think I ever read the other jelly ray that was the deeper, and the reefbacks are the really cool friends. Alright, so let's go through the ones we never did. The eyes. An extreme evolutionary adaptation where 90% of the life form's body mass is dedicated to the ocular cavity. Yeah! The oversized eyeball, a deep-set rings in the lens suggests specialization in identifying its predators in low-light environments long before they come into attack range. Underdeveloped fins. Incapable of fast movement, this species is vulnerable to agile predators at close range. Shark species may have evolved hunting techniques to close in on the eye unseen. Edible, but low calorie count. However, these guys are nice because you can eat them raw and they don't take down your thirst. Crimson ray, this is the lava variant. Like all ray specimens encountered on 4546b, this one features poisonous flesh and exhibits generally docile behavior. Thick scaling indicates adaptation for high-temperature environments. Forward-mounted eye sockets suggests a predatory evolutionary history left behind long ago. Wait, was that the same with the jelly ray? Taking care of the light source. Okay, I don't remember if I read this one. I probably did, but I want to reread it again. The jelly ray shares some evolutionary traits with the rabbit ray, including the highly poisonous flesh. This species adapted to low-light environments with a translucent, luminescent body. This may help to lighten up the surrounding area for foraging, ward away predators, identify the organism to others of its kind. Smaller creatures have been swimming in the jelly ray's wake to take advantage of the light source for their own ends. The jelly ray itself appears to approach light sources, perhaps mistaking them for others of its own kind. Inedible. So, it's not predatory, whereas the crimson ray is a offshoot of it that was predatory? That doesn't make sense. How could they be similar, then? Ghost ray. This is the one we saw before. Genetic analysis indicates this specimen is a close cousin of the jelly ray, adapted to deep-sea... Genetic analysis indicates this specimen is a close cousin of the jelly ray, adapted to deep-sea conditions around the Lost River biome. Unlike that species, its body is fully protected by translucent skin, and its large wings are capable of generating considerable thrust. Highly poisonous flesh, docile, feeds on plant matter that is settled to the sea floor. Inedible. Oh, most of these are going to be inedible. So what's the rabbit ray that everything seems to be based off of? An herbivorous? I can say this word. Herbivorous. I think it's herbivorous? I don't think it's herbivorous. That doesn't sound right. Herbivorous aquatic life form with highly poisonous flesh. The poisonous flesh. Large and without other defense mechanisms, the rabbit ray appears to evolve poisonous flesh to ward off predators. Undulating wings. Main method of steady transportation. Diet, grass and kelp. Inedible, but harmless. Inevitable? No, not inevitable. That's not the word I was trying to say. Magma ring. So this is the magma version of the boomerang. This organism's adaptation to the common boomerang evolved to survive in high-temperature environments. Coloration. Dark red coloration helps the subspecies to blend into the igneous rock environments. Orange detailing resembles active lava flow, deterring more cautious predators. Behavior. Marginally bolder than its shallow-dwelling cousins, the magma ring will nonetheless flee any creature larger than itself. Edible. Red eye. Adaptation of the common eye involved to inhabit high-temperature environments. Thermal camouflage. Deep red and orange coloration enables the subspecies to blend into the volcanic environment. It is unclear whether the evolutionary ancestry of the eye subspecies originated in high-temperature environments and later evolved to survive in the cooler waters or vice versa. Either way, that such a slow, defenseless organism has survived in an environment suggests some ecosystem role that is of yet unexplained. Edible, low calorie count. I wonder if they ever will explain it. Oculus. This is the alternate peepers that are in the jelly shroom caves. Just trying to remember the name. This species shares genetic similarities to the common peeper. The two species' evolutionary history must have diverged as the oculus developed specialized apparatus for navigating the jelly shroom cave system. Highly developed night vision. A large complex eyeball provides this herbivore superior night vision by comparison to its shallow water cousin. While the shallows and the cave system are separate just by a few meters of rock, foodstuffs and threats to each biome are completely different. It's possible that a small school of peepers was once cut off in the caves, and the octolus species is how they adapted. Interesting. Reginald, these guys are really good for food. Common crayfish filters algae and other plant material from the water via 4 gill-like front-mounted orifices. Coloration, dull green coloration for deep water camouflage. Luminescent tail coloration, likely part of the mating behavior.
Caution. Mild dehydration detected.
Thank you.
Intake recommended.
I'll get to it in a second. Edible, high calorie count. We're going to finish up the flora or the fauna before we take care of that. Sea treader. These guys are awesome. Vast bipedal life form which roams the reefs in herds. Elongated snout, used to siphon up plant material from the seafloor and maintain balance. Analysis suggests adaptation for migratory behavior. Large herds would be projected to decimate the floor of a single grazed area. Well, they're a lower population, largely due to the fact that the only population is in the immediate area that the Emperor Leviathan was able to keep alive, so that kind of forced a small-scale balance, which is kind of weird. May interact with the ecosystem in ways as yet undetermined. Investigate interactions with the local environment. You can actually pick up their poop and use it as a fertilizer to make your food grow faster. I have not done that yet, so I don't know if you can scan the poop or not. Spadefish. Common herbivore that seems to avoid shallower waters. Single eye. Observed swimming near the seabed from where it can keep its one eye on predators in the water above it. Mottled green coloration. Commonly encountered in plant-rich environments, spadefish is well adapted to hide among vegetation. Edible. So that's it for the fauna. Give me 1 second to take care of my character's thirst and hunger needs, and we'll jump into the flora. On to the flora. Okay, so we have read some of these, and the ones that pertain to what we were trying to accomplish or things we were working on. So the giant cove tree has dramatically changed, but I'm going to save that for a future episode because this is supposed to be content that is skippable, and that one's kind of important. So I'm going to save it for when we're actually back into the game moving forward, because even though I could technically go out of my way to make up a few new episodes by hunting down the 3 Leviathans and scanning them, I want to wait until we've actually been cured and the cure takes effect in-game, because it would be nice to not have to worry about the damn, what are they, the teleporting bastards. Now I can't remember the names of them for the life of me. I just saw their name a second ago. Fauna, carnivores, warpers. Yeah, that'll get the warpers out of our face and they'll leave us alone. So I don't want to go messing with the Leviathans until I don't have to worry about the warpers. So I'll read about the tree at that point. Anyway, long description short, bloodvine. This species of kelps grows in sparse corpses. Corpses? Yeah, sparse corpses scattered across the ocean floor. Deep on the ocean floor and provides shelter for an array of distinct fauna and megafauna. Survival at these depths is challenging, and the life forms which make their homes here have developed unusual coping mechanisms, including a bleaching of skin pigment, dependency on naturally occurring metals and oils to adjust to temperature and pressure, and in some cases even electrical defense mechanisms, hence the electric eel guys. The amp eels. The vibrant red oil which seeps from the blood vine coagulate into a semi-hard pustules, which frequently fall loose and form a vital foodstuff for the local ecosystem, or otherwise reabsorbed into the ground over time. Eye stalk. These are the freaky things with the eyeballs on them. We saw these before. A cave-dwelling tuber dotted with luminescent photosensitive eyes. These eyes may in some way direct the twisted growth of the stems themselves, possible in reaction to other light sources, proximity of cave walls, or other environmental conditions. Fern palm. We saw this one, I think, above ground. This specimen was first identified in an artificial grow bed on the island. It's not listed in the existing flora databases, so it is unclear whether or not it is native to this planet. Genetic code shares some features with the other local plant life, but this may be a result of DNA transfusion rather than natural evolution. So this may be something the kid did while he was trying to make it more homey on the island. Gabe's feather. This plant grows almost exclusively in deeper waters, where its hand-like leaves have evolved to filter sediment from the environment. It is likely dependent upon the excretions of the fauna populating the waters above and around it. Lantern tree. A conglomerate of individual vines which rely on one another for structural support. Grows exclusively on fertile land. Each vine produces orange lantern-like fruits, which are roughly the same nutrition and hydration value as the common watermelon. Interesting. Okay, so the bulb bush. These are the ones we found in the bulb zone, which used to be known as the couche zone, because they used to be called couche plants. This aquatic species has evolved to grow in deep, sandy environments, and to conserve its hydration levels against relatively extreme external temperatures. The root system can fragment the shale rock it grows on to form a deep anchor point, allowing predators to graze but not easily uproot the entire plant. This grazing will tend to dislodge parts of the plant, and each section is capable of growing into a fully formed adult plant. Explaining the concentration of bulb bushes in some parts of the world. Yeah, that explains why they're, like, clustered together all around a giant bush. So, yeah, that stands to reason. Edible in small quantities, high water content. Yeah, so these are really, really good. They are the equivalent of the, what the hell were the other guys? Chinese potato plant were good for food. Melon plant is like a universal good one. The lantern tree it did both, but not very well. Bobo tree, that's what it was. The bobo tree had a high water content as well. The bulb bush is just really good because you can grow it in the water. You don't have to grow it inside of a base. Alright, the membrane trees. These were one of the ingredients we needed for the seeds, or for the enzymes, which actually has changed. So let me read the description, and then I'll address that later. This entity defies neat categorization. It consists of more than one coral species working in tandem to create an insulated microcosm enclosed within the translucent membrane. Found exclusively growing on the basalt rock in the Grand Reefs, the homeostatic conditions within are considerably warmer and more dense with microbial life than the outside environment, and the bright purple fauna inside will likely die off very quickly if exposed. Jaffa cups. I always wondered about these things. A common land fungus found in clusters. Grows quickly, size is limited only by available nutrients and space. So it's just, it's a fungus. It's like a... Okay. Grub basket. An orange-colored land plant which usually contains a thick protein-rich sludge at its base. This may suggest a carnivorous lifestyle, wherein grubs and insects are attracted to the bright petals, make their way to the center of the plant, but are unable to scale back up the slick inner leaves and are ultimately digested. Voxel shrub, which it doesn't even show, but I think that was the pink and purple guys. Pink leaf plant that has angular appearance which grows exclusively on land. Pink caps, these are the shrooms. Land-based fungus species with harvestable spores, inedible. Cave bush, purple luminescent species which grows well on hardy terrain away from the sunlight. Veined nettles, a common shallow water plant which frequently shows signs of predation around the edges of the leaf. Thick, violet veins carry nutrients to the extremities of the fan, and brightly colored seeds grow around the base and stem. Speckled rattler, this brittle bland plant containing large spores which generate a characteristic rattle when the plant is shaken. This may act to ward off predators or even encourage predation as a means of spreading the spores. Interesting. Violet bow, a common luminescent plant which grows in patches on the seabed. Ming plants, a hardy specimen which grows on land. The vase-like trunk protects the root system from predation and self-repairs over time, explaining the characteristic cracks on the side, so it looks like a cracked being vase. Road cradle, a complex cave-dwelling fauna specimen, bright yellow core of the plant is protected by a rigid cave, presumably to ward off medium-sized herbivores. This used to be an ingredient for the enzymes before. Redwort, a common plant adapted to many different environments. The redwort is a staple part of diet of many small herbivores. Regress shell. This is a cool-looking one. This specimen is composed of a complex series of regressing rings connected by tendrils. Ghostweed grows exclusively to regions populated by the blood kelp, with blood kelp. Shares some genetic similarities. Furled papyrus. The function of the distinct curled leaves on this aquatic plant is not immediately clear. It's possible the leaves unfurl in low-light conditions and they're designed to channel water current to the main body of the plant, thus enhancing nutrient take-up. Sea crown. I don't remember what this one looked like. This plant consists primarily of large bladder-like sacs containing a huge variety of bacterial species, which may enable it to break down complex compounds it draws from the root system. Shares large sections of genetic code with the membrane tree. Oh, so these are the same areas as the membrane trees. Environmental scans indicate this plant was rare to the point of extinction. That's not good. Jelly shroom. A life form unique to the microcosm located in the cave system deep within the grassy plateaus, where a high concentration of carnivorous life forms ward off smaller predators. Consists of a tough, trunk-like base from which grows a fragile purple membrane. The membrane structure suggests vulnerability to predation, but evidence thereof is lacking. Unknown defense mechanism, possible symbiotic relationship. Predators, none identified. That's not true, it's the crab's name. Spotted dockleaf. A simple aquatic plant, chemicals within the leaf act to neutralize poisons and acids found in other local specimens, thereby actively encouraging predation by herbivores, albeit in smaller quantities. This ensures that the plant both spreads its seed, but retains enough surface area on its leaves to survive itself. Deep shroom. A discolored relative of the acid mushroom, adapted to low-light conditions. Alright, so there you go, that takes care of it. We got about, probably 2 episodes worth out of this. That is the entirety of the World Encyclopedia that we have to date. We are missing 3 Leviathans, And I'm pretty sure we've scanned most, if not all, the plants. Everyone I've been able to run across, I'm pretty sure I've scanned. However, I do want to get a little Easter egg for those of you that stuck around to read all of these, and that would be, let's see, where is it? Flora. So here's a little sneak peek at what's going to be coming up ahead once the game's finished and we can actually do it again. The giant growth tree is no longer no information. The vast tree encountered in the deep cove, the only one of its kind encountered on the planet. Cove bark, a hardy, fast-growing bark, covers the outside of the tree. Minuscule organisms inhabit the notches in the surface. Ghost leviathan eggs. The branches are wrapped around a number of unhatched eggs. The eggs match the organism categorized as ghost leviathan. The eggs are as old as the tree in some places. This tree appears to be an ancient nesting ground for the ghost leviathan. The eggs were laid when the tree was young, and now the branches protect and grow with them as they await the right conditions to hatch. This is why there's a limited number of ghost leviathans in the world, because they all come from this tree, and all the others outside of it around the planet have obviously died off. So, yeah, that's... I think there's only like 4 in-game, unless you wander into the void, which you're not supposed to do. So, yeah, that's why there's only the 4 ghost leviathans to date. So that's an interesting little tidbit that we'll be checking into, and we'll learn more about it when we can actually scan a ghost leviathan. So, I'm looking forward to that. So that is the only real thing to my knowledge that has actually directly changed. I do want to show you the difference in the hatching enzymes. These are actually, 4 of these are now parts that are through the 4 portals, which actually makes a lot more sense for what it would get. The eye stalk seed is going to be in the, I'm not sure which, I just read which biome it is. The seed crown is actually in the nursery that we were just in. The fungal samples are in the mushroom zone. The ghost weed is in the, blood kelp zone. The bulb bush is in the bush zone. And I want to say the eye stalk seed is in... Where is it? It was like the Deep Grand Reef or something. So these all are either where the portal leads to or an adjacent sector right next to the portal, making the 4 portals much more relevant than they were before as just being a shortcut system. So that's actually pretty cool that they changed the recipe to be plants that are more in line with needing to use the portals to get around. I might make a new enzyme using the new recipe, but I do technically still have the old one, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that yet. However, that is a catch-up on what's been going on, so that's going to give us another 2 episodes, and finally deplete our encyclopedia. So now, in theory, the only 3 things we should have are the 3 Leviathans that we have to scan, and the ending to the game. So I don't think there will be anything else. I could have sworn that we were able to scan the eggs of the baby, the unborn babies of the Leviathan, the Steamper Leviathan. But I'm not seeing it here, so maybe it didn't let me scan it? I don't know. So if it didn't, we'll have to try to scan it again when we go down there, but that's all we can do for now, because we're pretty much in a holding pattern waiting to move forward, and even when that happens, I still gotta run around the world and do the refetch everything all over again quest. But that means the next time we pick up, I should have everything done. If anything new has popped up, I'll get it on footage, and then the rest of it will pick up right where we left off in the nursery, rewatching the scene where the babies get born, because from what I understand, a lot of the animation has changed, the textures are much better on the Sea Emperors, so it'll be interesting to see that sequence again, as heart-wrenching as that sequence is, and we can finally cure ourselves, come back, shut down the gun, and move forward once the ending is done and we can finish up the rest of that. I'm just hoping that my hoarding instincts have done me well enough that when we can finally build the rocket, which is the exit, but beyond that I don't know any details of it. I just know it requires an insane amount of resources. Well, with my OCD harvesting skills, let's hope we already have them. Anyway, thank you for joining me, guys, and we will continue on when we have more content, which might be a while. I genuinely don't know. I thought the game was supposed to be done at the end of September, so it should be less than a month before the new content comes up. However, if I can get some new videos up before the end of September, I will, but remember, the Halloween Rush is October, so that will be entirely horror games. There will not be any Skyrim, there will not be any of this series that's going on, just to make you guys aware of that. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take off. I hope you guys enjoyed the data that we got to read up on things. Those of you that stuck around, I hope you enjoyed the spoilers about the Cove tree. And I will, I'm really looking forward to when this finishes, because I want to see how the game ends, how it wraps up. I'm looking forward to the finality of it, so, yeah. My personal thanks to each and every one of you for tuning in. You all are awesome viewers. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch my videos. It means a lot to me, and I do hope you enjoy them. So y'all take care of yourselves, and if you want to see more of me, keep up the video on the list, or stay tuned for more. Feel free to leave a comment below. Please remember to click that like button if you enjoyed the video. In the meantime, fare thee well, everyone!